Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us again today for this session of Crituitous RP. Before we get started, we want to do a couple quick shout-outs. Thank you very much, Kura-san, for subscribing through Twitch Prime. We really appreciate people using their Prime subscriptions on us. If you have Amazon Prime and you will have a free Twitch subscription per month. If you don't use it on someone else, please use it on us. We really appreciate the support that these things give us. We'd like to thank our new followers from this week. Our new followers include, let me check. So, King of Obi-Wans, with a whole bunch of numbers mixed in, Cypirus, Lavar6969, Purple Cake, and Open Medal. Thank you very much to all of you guys for following us. We really appreciate all of the help and the support that you give. If you enjoy our stuff and want to get more than just our game once or twice a week, if you come for the second stream, and would like to get involved in more of our things, then follow us on Twitter. We are at Crituitous RP. And follow our Tumblr, crituitousrp.tumblr.com, and join our private Discord channel by supporting us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Tearvanth. We love doing what we do, and your support helps us to be able to keep doing it. All right, without further ado, we jump into our adventure. Previously on Crituitous RP, our heroes had just returned somewhat triumphantly from Nangalore. They had gone out for the purpose of collecting the one black orchid. They came back with 3, which is incredible. Unfortunately, along the process, we did lose a dear friend, but only temporarily, as he is slowly becoming corporeal again.
Yeah.
So in a few weeks, in a few months, we might see Greco back with the adventuring party. But for now, Stephen is playing Piju.
Like pio, pio, like a bird sound. I'm thinking like Pidgeotto from Pokemon, the way they sound, but it's Piju.
Right. And stay tuned for what his character is going to be, but he's a bird, so probably an Aarakocra.
I guess I ruined that surprise.
Yeah, but that's okay. So the party got back. They started preparing. The Ashara started readying the Dance of the Seven Winds that would give the party the ability to fly. Unfortunately, at that time, alarm bells started to ring. Scuba Goomba.
Sorry, he's the one that condemned me to death last time. I'm not going to take it this time. And I was typing in all caps. I apologize. There.
I upped the cap limit. I set it to 20 characters. You must have really.
I go all in.
Stephen, stop messing around. All right, stop getting yourself banned. All right. Where was I? So, alarm bells started ringing. Shouts and cries from the Aarakocra started to spread throughout the home of the Aarakocra here in Sabal. Gargoyles are flying towards. Over the horizon, after the sun is setting, these dark shapes begin to form and getting larger and larger. These medium-sized creatures get closer and closer to Sabal as they start flying in for an attack. Our heroes are preparing for the attack, and while they are coming up with strategies, you will start to notice a pattern in the grouping of the gargoyles as they start heading towards the area of Sabal. So if you turn your attention to the middle side view of Sabal, you will notice that the groups of Aarakocra are are spreading themselves out very specifically.
Ba-dum-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum-bum.
So you have a few moments, a minute, about, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes as they're flying up. Eventually they'll come into range of some of the people's spells, like Grigori has a natural long distance on some of his shots. But eventually they'll come into range of you. What do you do to prepare for the battle?
So these are all gargoyles that are on the screen, right?
It's all just gargoyles, and that is the attacking force that's heading towards you.
We're in the big middle building, right?
You're pretty much wherever you would like to be.
Okay.
In terms of your position. The positioning of the Aarakocra has been laid out for you already. So you'll notice in some of the houses on the outside, there are Aarakocra placed out. There is one location where I have placed a lot of Aarakocra. You'll notice that is the dwellings. Now, the dwellings incorporates everything within this area in the center. One of those rooms is the one that has Princess Moaxanare and Prince Na. That is the one where the Aarakocra have automatically just run to. That is also the room that Grigori and Zola were in recently. And that one is the topmost room. It is located right at the edge.
So we're still separated from everyone else?
You don't have to be. You can run up there. It's just that the men of the crew, or most of the elders, have gone down ready to defend Princess Moaxanare.
That's where Peugeot is heading.
Okay.
Peugeot. So I'll move into that square, or in the room with them over here. So I'm downstairs, though. Outside. There we go. Got it.
Oh. Did we lose Ty and Laney?
No.
There we go. All right. So it looks like Tower and Peugeot have gone down to Princess Moaxanare's rooms. Anything else that you guys are doing in your preparation?
I'm going to run over to Everett and be like, what do we do, smarty pants?
Well, the Aarakocra are a fishing group. We could use their fishing nets as weapons or traps, perhaps, against these gargoyles. Although casting such things are difficult, and I don't know what effect they'll have.
Can try it. It's better than nothing. What about the whole we only have 5 feet of walk space thing?
Artists, can you make us fly? We don't want to fall to our death. And Ashara's first rule is if you can't fly, don't fall. So let us...
We really don't want to fall to death.
Yeah, that would be suboptimal.
I can give 6 people the ability to fly. Who is taking it? And he will, first of all, opt out unless you guys suggest that you have a spare. So...
I can cast fly if we've got a spare.
Okay. So out of the party, we have Peugeot, who can fly, just naturally. And you can cast fly.
I've got the Bandora, so I can play that, and that should give me hours of flight. So yeah.
It's practically the same thing that he can
That's
do,
fine. Yeah.
except his is a limited resource. Okay, so the entire party can be blessed with flight.
Cool.
We can do that. Now, for that flight, Artus and Carmen are going to have to keep concentration on those spells in order for that to work, okay?
Artist, don't you be distracted?
No, I won't be distracted.
Is he using 6 up? Would Artis be using 6 up? So he's got.
He doesn't have to. If so, there are 8 members of your party, right? Including the NPCs. Peugeot doesn't need to fly, so that's 7.
Yeah.
So he can cast fly on everyone, but himself. But then he wouldn't be flying.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I'm just so I know. So if I'm doing fly on myself, then I know that I have to keep that concentration spell for that, and I can't use it on anything else. That's all. So.
What he suggests is perhaps he uses his fly up on all of you. That will leave him behind. That he won't be able to fly. If he starts to fall, he'll catch himself. If no one else is falling at the time. Plus, I'm immortal. I can't die.
That is true. That is true.
How do you plan on catching yourself?
I don't know. I'll think about it while I'm falling. All right. We good?
Cool.
Fly, 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 fly. Everyone can fly. Except him. All right. So you're grabbing nets. You start asking some of the Aarakocra, where are you fishing nets? What do you use? And they'll pull out a couple nets. They're built for fish. They might not be sturdy enough. 1 or 2 gargoyles you could probably catch. If you tried to catch a whole flock of 4 or more, they'll probably easily tear through the net. Okay? Where are you taking the nets?
I'll say, Grigori, it looks like the gargoyles are separating into different packs. Carmen, also, both of you have these spells that have areas of effect. Perhaps you can focus your energies on them.
Yeah.
And then we can take out the stragglers.
Yeah, Grigori's gonna go for the cluster that's at the temple.
Up at the top?
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
Okay,
that one.
so that layer. All right. Cool. Now, there are 4 gargoyles headed towards the very top point, and those are the Elder's house. That is where the Ashara currently is.
Oh, then actually, I think Peugeot's going to be over there to protect her.
Is that one?
Which room is that on the Is it the one with the floor, the hole in the floor?
It'll help if I draw lines.
Yeah.
Let me draw some nice thick lines that connect.
Ooh, lines.
So.
Just have tower throw you.
I'm very light, so it might work.
You could just launch people if you wanted to.
Like a football, just.
Exactly, just woo!
Does that make it clearer as to where each of the maps are?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Which means I don't want to be where I am. I want to be over here.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm going to be up with Peugeot.
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 It's also
the sound of his bow. Peugeot.
Pew.
And Zola's going to be going to the lowest level.
Okay.
Working her way up.
Whoa. There's an octopus.
You don't warn anyone when you change animal shape. It's really, really bad. You should warn people. Otherwise you just get grabbed again.
I'm just filling up that room and it's just tentacles. If I open the doors, tentacles are going to go.
You turn into the octopus. Immediately, the Aarakocra that was just stood behind you is thrown against the wall. Shocked and
I give
surprised.
him a wink with a big side eye.
All right. Seeing as there is an octopus down there, 2 of the Aarakocra down there are going to split off and go up to protect other areas. Primarily, they're going up to protect Ashara. So there's a little bit more aid up at the top. Okay. Who has the nets and where are they going to be positioned? What are you doing with the nets themselves?
How many do we get? First off, how many can I carry?
So you can only carry one net each. They're big. They're fishing nets. They're not the small nets that you would.
Your word is law.
There are 3 that they can give you, but these are big things.
If I can I put the pile somewhere and then come back to them?
Yes.
Okay, that might work better.
Okay.
I just have a stash of my own nets, like hunting nets and stuff. So.
Yes. But yours are different from these ones.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Just.
Yeah. So, do you guys think you're ready?
Born ready.
Are we flying out to meet them, or are we staying here?
I'm flying out to meet him. I'm already...
Already on your way.
Well, Zola, you're carrying a net. Clearly, I can't let you do this alone, since it was my idea. Let me help you with one of these, or should we try to carry them and catch them?
I think I can manage this myself. One net for me.
Oh, well, then I will stand by. Let us all group on Zola. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Oh.
Yes, huzzah! Let's just go. Okay. So the gargoyles get to within a close enough range that people can start firing on them. Now I know Grigori's. What's his max damaging range spell? Max.
Well, he would have used a fireball for clusters, and that's 150 feet.
150 feet. Now, does that include his spell sniper ability?
That does not, because fireball is a saving throw spell, not one.
Right. Yes, not an attack roll. Okay, cool. So he's going to fire off a fireball at one of the clusters when they get to 150 foot. Okay, so we'll start at that point.
And he'll do it on the backside so that the building doesn't take any damage, of course.
Fair enough. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
It's good to see my rolling is still consistent regardless of what the character sheet is.
I just won't have you roll any con saves for a few days.
Oh my god.
I rolled that.
Going to roll for all of the Aarakocra at once, just to make things easier. Okay. So, is anyone missing from the turn order? I probably haven't rolled for Artus and Shargo yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, yeah, tower's there. Okay.
Aberrine will be firebolting at a range of 120 feet. For
Okay.
what that's worth.
Firebolt, okay. Loading so many character sheets at once, my computer's not happy with this. There we go. Alright. Hey, Shargo did pretty well. Okay. So, Grigori fires off his fireball spell as soon as they get into 150 foot range. Which of the groups does he pick? Because he can't reach more than one.
This one, the one at the temple.
The one at the temple. Okay.
He just doing the closest that he sees coming at him. He's like, ah.
Okay. They need to roll deck saves against 26 points of fire damage. Okay.
DM, when you get a chance, can I get a token for Alwando?
Sure. Is he going to do anything in battle?
Perhaps.
Okay. Where is he going to be?
He'll be by me. Or I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. So tiny.
That's a
Little
mistake.
guy.
You'll want to make him a little bit bigger. Probably not that big. What size is he supposed to be? He's supposed to be
Tiny.
small? or
He's tiny.
Tiny. So that is the right size. Okay. All right. Then let me jump back to all of these gargoyles. All right. So dexterity saves. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 fail. All 4 take the full 26 points of fire damage.
And then he'll move away from the door.
Well, will he do the same thing the next turn? Because they'll only move 120 foot. So they'll still be 30 foot away at the end at next turn.
Oh, okay. They're still there though, right? So he doesn't want to be where they're going to be. So.
Okay. Fair enough. So that's what Grigori did when they were at 150 feet. Is anyone else able to impact them at 150?
Yeah. I can make 2 attacks.
Okay, go ahead and...
I'm attacking, I guess I'll focus them both on the same one. This one right up here.
Okay. So you're up at the top. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so I won't be able to get any bonuses on it, but... So I got a 24 and a 21.
Okay. The shots soar off. They do connect.
Right.
You do hit the creature for 20 points of piercing damage. However, it is resistant to non-magical damage, so it takes half. It only takes 10 points of damage in that turn.
Chip damage is damage.
Averine, your range is 120 foot. Would you have readied an action to fire a shot when they got into 120 foot range?
If that's permissible.
That's fine to do. Go ahead and fire off your shot and declare who you're firing at.
This fella.
Okay, so the very bottom, the lowest one. 12 is not going to be able to do it, unfortunately. All right. We jump. Yeah.
I actually can I also, and I might not be able to since I use an action to do that, but can I actually no, I wouldn't be able to. Never mind. I was gonna ask to prepare to cast Hunter's Mark when they get in range, but I already used an action to attack. So yeah, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. These gargoyles continue to fly forward, and they are moving at an incredible speed. 60 foot is their normal movement speed, but they are dashing. They want to get in as quick as possible. So 120 foot later, they are now 30 foot away. Top of the round, Zola. They're 30 foot away from you. Are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm going to rush up to meet him so that I'm within 15 feet and throw a friggin' net over that guy. And it'll be that guy right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're flying out to him to throw the net on him. Okay.
Yeah, stopping.
So this isn't an actual net, but you are it's a fishing net. It's not the mechanical weapon net. So
I wouldn't be proficient with it either way, but if it is a dexterity-based attack, then I got that covered.
Okay. If you want to do it in melee, it's strength. If you want to do it at range, it's still going to be strength. So,
it's still going to be strength at range?
Unless it's finesse, it would be, right?
No. Okay. Any ranged weapon is dex. Any melee weapon is strength, even if it has the thrown property,
Okay.
even if you
so
throw it.
what do you want me?
Now, did we declare that this is something that you would be using in melee, or something you would be using trying to do at a distance?
Well, we mentioned trying to do it melee, and you were kind of like, it's a little hazy there. And so I said, okay, well, that's fine. We can do ranged. And so I
Okay.
set it up to do ranged. And I said I was stopping 15 feet, so I'm 15 feet away from
15
it.
feet away. Okay, go ahead and throw it. It's a d20 plus your dex mod. There we
It's
go.
11. I already did it.
All right.
It's on the
You
screen.
throw the net out, and it gets close, but not quite. The guy just kind of sidesteps, and it tumbles to the ground, spiraling.
Can I then use a cunning action to dash back over to the stack of nets and grab up another one?
Yeah. Okay. Do that. You're now inside the building again, right? Or have
Yeah,
you
like on the
dashed out
edge.
and then come back out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Grigori.
Can he still? Does he still have line of sight on the menagerie that's coming towards the temple?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
then
say
another
yes.
fireball.
Okay. Launch them fireballs.
I'm loving the gift.
Yeah.
DC 16. Okay. 1, 2, 3,
Nuclear then.
4. All 4 fail again. 25 points of fire damage.
Oh, come on! No, they're still alive. No.
They had 52.
Oh,
26.
Just
25
make
takes
them
them.
smolder for like a second. Just-
Right.
oh,
So the 4 of them are still up, but at 1 hit point. They're broken. They're practically falling apart by the time they even get there. All right. Anything else from Grigori?
No, Shago and Artist. Shago and Artist are where they are on the map, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Ready and prepped for combat.
he's good.
Okay. Shago is just going to stand where he is and ready an action to attack anything that comes in melee through that doorway. He will, in fact, move himself to this little archway in the middle. He's attacking whatever comes either side of him. Tower. The things are still 30 foot away from you.
Tower's gonna. He's acting as goalkeeper. He's just gonna spread out all his arms and fish like covering like a heart, like the face of the house. And I'll ready an action. If anything comes close, I'm gonna attack him.
Okay. Right. Ashara. Staying where she is. What are her capabilities? She's a druid.
She should turn into a giant eagle.
Is a giant eagle. What she will do is
Teach Tower.
teach Tower how to be an eagle.
Yep. She's going to step down. She's going to rush down, step to the edge right there, and cast Call Lightning.
Ooh. Oh dear.
Okay.
You don't have that
You don't have that yet?
spell.
You can learn a lot from me. Right. So she's gonna create that spell. The cloud begins to gather, ready to start striking out, and she positions it to try and hit one of the gargoyles. He's got to make a dex save against the attack, which he fails. These guys are not dexterous at all. Takes 17 points of lightning damage. All right. Carmen, what are you doing?
I am going to pop out onto this ledge as well, if I can. And I'm going to cast Shatter on the group of 4 outside, if I can.
That's great.
The one out, yeah, the one outside the building that I'm in. So top one, top four, there, top group of the four.
Yep.
That group, that's the one.
Top one right, top one left.
Top one left.
Out of the four that are there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, can I not just cast it in the middle of them and get all four?
Sorry. Yes, you can. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Go ahead and cast. All right. Shatter. These constructs made... well, they're not constructs, they're elementals. Need to roll con saves. So, one.
Can I roll a... Was that a bad roll? Was that an 8 I rolled?
Oh, 2 natural ones, isn't it?
I was going to say, can I not roll a luck on that one?
You can't luck for damage.
Not for damage.
Damn it. Alright, no worries. No worries.
Only one of them managed to save that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the one that managed to save only took 4 points of thunder damage. The rest took the full 8. It's not much, but it is still something. While I'm doing this and getting the damages sorted out, anything else from you?
No, she's just going to just duck back into the building so she's not right out on the ledge, that's all.
Okay. Averine.
Averine will, with her bonus action, give Dragon Breath to Alawando.
Okay.
At casting it up to give him 46 instead of 3d6.
Right.
And then fix the map. And then we'll cast Firebolt. Let's see. We're all outside this room. Is that right?
Yes, you are.
I'll cast Firebolt at that fellow.
Okay. That is going to hit 17 points of fire damage. Will start to melt some of the stone connections. Anything else from you? That's it. You cast a spell. You did a cantrip.
I think,
are you going to move?
Yeah, I'll move to be not like the avant-garde of the defending force, but that will be it. Yep.
Okay. So, Pijo.
Yes, and yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Pijo.
Oh, Pijo is an Aarakocra ranger who has actually met and traveled with Averine in the past. He's the one who had introduced her to the Aarakocras at Sabal to begin with. He is a guide and a hunter and a tracker and an expert marksbird, and was just up in Sabal this time when they came back. Now, I just want to let you know, Teo, Roll20 is acting really weird for me right now, so I know what I'm going to do, but I can't do it for myself at this moment. I'm going to try to reload it, but I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns on my... Well, actually, first, the Aarakocra, or the gargoyles that were going towards the central temple, can I reach them with my longbow from where I am right now?
From where you are, you're down at the bottom, right?
No, I'm up in the top right.
Yeah, you're at the top, so you can aim down. Yes, you can reach them.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns on myself as a bonus action, and use my first attack to shoot at the closest. They're all next to each other still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to shoot at the closest gargoyle in that group.
Mm-hmm.
And if that hits, it'll presumably wipe them all out because the damage and then they get a dex save next to it to take damage as well, and see how that goes. And then I'll probably shoot my second attack at the one that I had hit before once it loads up, if it loads up. It's being very difficult for me. I can tell you what my bonuses are, and somebody else can roll for me, so we don't get slowed down.
Do you want to roll physically?
If you don't mind, I usually... they're behind me. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
You know what? I don't have them on me right now. They're still packed for going out live.
Steven,
but I am able... Yeah.
What level do you want to cast Hail of Thorns at?
I'm going to cast it at level 2. That's the highest I can cast it at anyway, so...
Okay, cast it.
Oh, do you have... Yeah. And so that'll hit me, and then I'll attack. It's a d20 plus 10 to hit with the longbow.
That's an 18 to hit, which is going to hit one of them.
Yeah.
Which will kill that one. They've got 1 hit point.
Yeah.
The rest...
You have to make a dex save. I think my save is 16. But
it's a dex save to take... Even if they succeed, they take half damage. They're all at 1 hit point.
Right.
They're all going to fall.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so knock them all out, and then I'll get my other attack on the same gargoyle that I attacked before. I'm sorry, this is very matter of fact. I'm trying to fix this as well, so I didn't want to...
It's okay.
So that'd be d20 plus 10 again for whatever the longbow damage is. Oh, things are starting to show up.
Aaron, do you want me to roll for those? I can do that.
Oh, yeah, because it's still being super slow, and I appreciate it.
So, which group are you firing at now?
The one that I had attacked before, that was the top right.
Okay,
and
the top
going
right.
Towards the Ashara.
Yep. That is going to hit, and because of the piercing resistance, it only takes 6 points of piercing damage.
6 points is 0 points. And I'm going to move out into, like, the air around them to kind of draw the ones that are going towards the Ashara away from them. I could only move 50.
So you're coming out to fly out, okay?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Then we have the Aarakocra and their behavior. So we have 3 Aarakocra that are in the room with Carmen and Ashara. They are each going to pull out javelins. It's probably not as... they'll each throw a javelin at least at first. So they fly. 20 is going to hit. 13 is not. Natural 1, definitely not. So the one that did roll the 13, it hit, not normal damage. They will fly out to greet them. Not to draw them away, but to greet them. This will hopefully give some form of distraction to stop them from getting the Ashara. All of the Aarakocra at the bottom will spread out. They see that Tower and Zola and Averine have the princess protected. They trust you. Were you not in the turn order, Tower?
He's in there as the octopus.
Yeah, I just noticed the initiative.
That was an accident.
Oh, okay, it was an accident.
Sorry.
No, you're good. All right, so we have one Aarakocra is actually going to just fly straight out and try to attack in melee with the one in front of him. That is an 18 to hit. That is going to hit for 3 points of slashing. But he's going to stay in that melee position. Okay. The others are going to start flying off. So let me move him out of here. We have one that flies up and then dives down. It's going to give it a little extra speed. Goes in for the attack. Unfortunately, that's going to miss. Another one flies straight down to here. That's a crit. That'll hit. He also deals an extra 2d6 because he's diving. It's an extra 7, so 12 down to 6. Okay. Other Aarakocras staying to defend themselves. And then those that are with Shargo and Artus do a similar act. They come and just prepare themselves. All right. Moving to Artus. He steps out, pulls out his bow. His magical bow. No, not magical. He will just fire off 2 shots. 13 is going to miss. 14 is also going to miss. Now it's the gargoyles. They're actually going to move in. Those that are still alive are going to start charging into the situation that they're at. We have the 4 up at the top. We're going to go top down. 4 up at the top aren't going to move into the tower because they have Aarakocra in front of them to attack. They make 2 attacks. Bite attack, 13 to hit one of the Aarakocra. Is going to hit for 6 points of piercing damage. Then a claw attack also hits, doesn't quite kill. We have a second. Bite is going to miss. Claw is going to hit, and that kills one of the Aarakocra. 2 more. Bite. 23 will hit. Claw. Kill. 4th. Hit. 3. Claw attack. Hits for 4. Doesn't quite finish off. Right, next group down. Those that went to the one that went to the cleansing chamber. He's going to fly into the actual cleansing chamber himself, where he will be attacked. Come on. Here we go. Ooh, I am rolling well today.
It's not a good thing to hear ever.
Unfortunately, I'm rolling well on both sides of the line. That is another Aarakocra down. The group that are all kind of spread out at the all the different residences fly into the buildings as best they can and just start searching the place, looking for something. They don't find anything that they're looking for, obviously. Those that are engaged with Aarakocra miss, miss, miss. Hit for 6. And then we have one that will push forward and try to hit Zola. Zola, I have a 12 to hit you. That's going to miss. Right? Okay. Then he's going to try and claw at you. That's an 11 to hit, also going to miss. All right.
Is that within 10 feet of tower?
Unfortunately, no. As he went to Zola, which is off to the side.
Okay. Awesome.
Alawando.
Alawando will try to get into a position to breathe fire breath on this gargoyle by Zola, but not close enough to hit Zola.
Absolutely. Fine.
It's a DC 16 dex.
Which he fails, takes 11 points of fire damage. He's looking fairly weak now. He's taken quite a bit of attacks.
And that's it.
Okay. Zola.
I gotta go save the Aarakocra above us. So, forget the nets. Nets were terrible. Terrible idea.
They might have worked if they had hit.
Oh yeah, but I only had the one shot. This guy's still hovering, but the rest of them have gone inside, so it's now a moot point. So forget the nets. Attacking and drawing cutlass. I'm going to see if I can tap this guy in front of me.
Okay, go ahead and tap away. You tap him light, you boop him on the nose.
Yeah, I think that's still okay. I think as long as I make an attempt, I can still run.
As long as you still attack someone with a melee weapon, you can still dash off. Yep.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Give him a little love tap and then tear off above.
Yep.
All right.
So I'm gonna go now engage this one over here. If I can make it up there in my flying speed.
What?
Yeah, sorry. The tentacle attack has got a 15-foot reach. So I thought it was 10 foot, but it's actually 15.
Okay.
I was going to ask if that would give her advantage. If I could attack, then I'm actually well, I was going to say she'd get advantage.
Give advantage if it's only one.
10.
You can make an attack after her turn. We can resolve that. You had missed out. Okay. So you fly straight up. Where are you headed, Zola?
I'm over here now, so I went directly to the next building.
Okay.
I'm over here now, engaging this guy. And I rolled a 26.
That's going to hit. Unfortunately, it just kind of...
Well, I get a sneak attack, too.
Sneak attack. So that is 9, but it is non-magical, so it's halved down to 4.
Then I'm going to see if I can step back 1 so that I can kind of kite him out.
Okay. All right. Tower, you were going to make an attack. Unfortunately, a 13 is not quite enough to be able to land. All right. Grigori.
So he's going to run down the steps real quick. He's not going to exit the building, but he is going to poke his head outside just so he has line of sight. And then I'm going to use sorcery points to get back a level 3 spell slot and fireball the group that Carmen shattered.
Okay, so kind of poke his head out and...
Yeah, just with a wink.
Okay. We are glad to have you, Elmer Fudd Games. This is exactly what you should be doing during a lunch break.
With that fireball, actually, I forgot to mention, but I do have the Colossus Slayer, so that would have done a little bit of extra damage to the one that I hit with the longbow last time.
Okay.
So I don't know if that would affect it.
Remember,
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a fireball? There we go.
Here we go.
Fireball. All right. 1, 2, 4. All 4 fail. Wow. We keep failing at this. 23. That is 1 dead gargoyle. And 3 wounded ones. Right. Not quite killed, but heavily wounded.
And he's got like 10 feet of movement left, so he's just going to hide behind this.
All right. Shargo sees there are no more Aarakocra that are headed this way, that are headed into this area. So thinking about the situation, he is going to run down through the doors and dash. He'll end up at the top of the stairs up here. Oh, here we go. That is him dashing to that position. We'll actually say he's about there. Okay. Tower, what are you doing?
Try to take that guy again.
Okay. $15 is going to hit this time. You wrap the tentacle around him. Go ahead and attack. Roll the damage, rather.
I roll the damage.
Can you...
Sorry.
13 points of bludgeoning damage. Now, your wild shape does not deal magical damage.
No.
So it is halved to 6. But he is grappled, which is good. All right. Anything else from you, Tower?
I'm going to just kind of move him out with the tentacle, so he's an easy, obvious target for the Aarakocra to.
I just hold him.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pull him out a little bit. All right.
Make him an obvious target, easy, obvious target.
Okay. Then, almost in response, a bolt of lightning comes crashing down from above to connect with the one that you're holding onto. He needs to roll a dexterity saving throw. That is an 11. They reliably keep failing. So that'll be 3d10 lightning damage. 18 points of lightning damage. That will kill the gargoyle that was in your hands. Just
reflexively. Drop that thing.
You okay down there?
Drop it like a star.
Drop it like a star.
Right. With that being said, and feeling a little bit confident about her position, even though there are quite a few Aarakocra up there, she is going to step back into the room. Carmen, what are you going to do?
I'm going to just cast Shatter again. I would like to fly out and just stab them, but I kind of feel like if I do Shatter, I could get all 3 potentially. How are they looking? Are they relatively
Pretty beat up. Lots of
Okay.
cracks.
Oh, okay. All right. Okie dokie. Right. So, doing that as a level 2 spell. That's better. There we go.
Fail.
Oh,
Fail.
they're failing.
Fail.
I didn't fail.
All right. 14 points of thunder damage. If they weren't flying, they'd be taking a knee. That drops them down to single figures. So they are heavily, heavily wounded. All right. Anything else from you, Carmen?
Just pop him back behind the wall. That's it.
Okay. Averine.
Averine will pop out of this area and firebolt this fella.
Okay.
I'll use luck and re-roll that.
Okay. Roll a d20.
Another luck.
All right. So you're going to take the 19 or the natural 1?
I'll take the 19. Thank you very much.
All right. So that hits. We'll still take the damage from the first one, as that was the damage roll that you made. So 15 points of fire damage, more molten rock. Anything else from you?
That'll do.
All right. Pijo.
So almost as though my computer realized that it was almost my turn when I was scrolling around the map, it went backwards and now it's reloading. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns on myself again. And the 3 that are up by the Ashara that were just hit by the Shatter, I'm going to fire an arrow at the closest one of them. That one will take the Colossus Slayer bonus damage and then hopefully get the others around it with the Thorns. And I'm doing it at level 2 again. So it's an extra 2d10 damage to all the ones around it.
Okay. Make your
Cool.
shot.
I would love to if Roll20 was being cooperative at all.
I got you, fam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So 17, that will hit.
Great.
6 points of piercing damage to the first one. Add the Colossus Slayer damage if you would like. It's what, an extra D8?
D8, yeah. And actually, it's all coming up now, so I'm getting it in here. But it looks like that was rolled, so I'll just roll the Hail of Thorns damage. Or will they have to make a dex save first?
Well, they would
And
have to make a dex save, but I want to know
How much damage?
the
to this?
D8. The Colossus
Oh, yeah,
Slayer
yeah.
D8.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I'll roll that.
I'll-
'cause I got my...
I just threw one in. All right, so an extra
Okay.
3. That will be enough to finish off that one
Okay.
gargoyle that's right there. Immediately from the remains, before it begins to fall, thorns begin to sprout and whip at the other ones around it. Go ahead and roll the Hail of Thorns damage. You said second level, so you're doing
2d10.
2d10. Go ahead and roll 2d10.
Can do.
Okay, for a total of 12 points of damage. Now, these gargoyles both failed. So as the vines whip at them, it tears through them. They
Great.
break to pieces. Both of them die.
Puny gargoyles. You
The top
think me?
levels of Sabal are now safe.
Great.
What are you doing?
And I'm going to, not mechanically, but figuratively dash down in the
Okay.
air to get to the gargoyles towards the bottom.
Right. Seeing things are going pretty well, Artus is going to be a little stupidly brave. Or bravely stupid.
Oh,
He's a good man. He's lived a long life.
Show us what you got, old man.
Right?
Tell us you're not just a
Yeah.
pretty face.
It's
But
probably
what a pretty
terrible.
face he is.
he's such a pretty face.
He jumps out.
No, 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 no.
And lands on the floor, taking a little bit of damage right next to Averine. Oh. Ah. All right, and then he's going to attack the gargoyle that's right there.
He's mega attractive right now to be doing that.
Well, of course.
Just jumping out of buildings. Just
It's a big damn
like,
hero.
Like the rock type of thing.
How rickety does that support look?
Planks drop and fall. He's pulls out the dagger, runs forward and stabs 3 times. And his dagger is magical, so it just does everything. So that is 20 points of damage on the gargoyle. That will actually finish that gargoyle off. All right. That's Artus done. We have a whole bunch of gargoyles. The gargoyles have lost a lot of their weight. The ones that were supposed to go up to the top to go for the Ashara failed. Seeing that, the 4 remaining that are down at the bottom turn tail, start flying off and running.
You better run. Gargoyles.
They fly 120 foot out. The one that is left behind is going to attempt to grapple Zola as he does so. So he's going to do an athletics check. I need Zola to make either an athletics or acrobatics check to contest. You win that one. He's got multi-attack. He's going to try it a second time. That's a 20. With a 13, he grabs hold of you. He has you at this point and is going to start slowly trying to take you away from the group, dragging you. That slows him down considerably, but it also pulls you further and further out of the map.
Well, I'm just going to be wailing on him like, let me go!
Absolutely. All right. Is Alawando doing anything while these gargoyles are running away?
So the 4 on this map are the ones that are flying away?
Yeah, they're flying away.
Alawando cannot catch them. And that's all of them, right? Except for the one with...
Reach the one that has Zola. It's pretty much straight above him at this point.
He won't breathe fire on Zola, so...
Figured. Okay, Zola, what are you doing?
Over the gargoyle's shoulder, I'm actually going to have a thought and call out to anybody who can hear me. Should I let them take me and see where they're going?
We have no idea how far away that is.
No.
Kill the fool.
Okay. I will, instead of trying to escape, I will just hammer away at him.
I mean, you look and you see Shargo looks ready to jump. So, probably...
Hope you're all right. Jeez. Always okay. All right.
Kind of. All right. 21 is going to hit for 3 points of slashing plus the sneak attack, so 14 cut down to 7. Shargo is a monster. Yes, Super Mega Kamiguru. All right. Anything else from you, Zola?
Yeah, that'll be it for now.
Okay. Grigori.
Well, he's going to see probably what's going on here. His range on Eldritch Blast is like 200 and something, I think. So if it's in reach. Still.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, I'm going to try to blast this guy.
Both of those will hit. Unfortunately, the force damage they do is so little that it doesn't really make much effect to the gargoyle. He's still got Zola firm in his grip. Anything else from Grigori? Okay. Shargo does have a fly speed. So, off he goes, flying into the air with spear in hand, ready to go. Let's see how Shargo does. First attack is going to be a shield bash. If he can knock this guy prone, the flying creature falls. Unfortunately, an 11 is... Oh no, would he be flanking to have the advantage? Yeah. He'd be coming up behind. He'd hit it. We'll say that it hits, deals 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and the gargoyle needs to make a strength saving throw. It does make the save, so he just goes and stabs at it twice. Unfortunately, the first one misses. The second one does hit, but only does 7 points of piercing damage. All right, tower. Above you, you can see Zola and Shargo engaging with the gargoyle. The rest have flown away. What are you doing?
Tower's going to drop his form back to being Tower. For some reason, my options to do that aren't on my screen right now. And I'll cast Earthbind on the gargoyle.
On the gargoyle. Okay.
He needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
I don't know what that's from, that gift.
Huh?
I don't know what that gift is from.
All right. Con save from the gargoyle.
Yeah.
Was it a con or was it a dex? No, strength. Earthbind is a strength saving throw, isn't it?
Strength saving throw? Yeah, sorry. Strength. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Good, because he got a 20 on his con and he got a 6 on his strength. So immediately the yellow spirals of magic wrap around him and grab hold of him. He now has a flight speed of 0. He begins to fall. Well, descend, not fall. In doing so, he lets go of Zola.
Okay.
Anything else from you, Tower?
That's my dart.
Okay. Ashara is going to move her little cloud and try to do the same thing. You set them up. She's going to try and knock them down. Not that much damage this time. Now, he's not, no, his speed is just 0. He's not grappled or restrained. He's just falling. Right. So that's dexterity save from him, which he fails, takes the 9 points of lightning damage. He's now heavily weakened. Carmen, are you going to do anything?
Probably the only thing I'm going to do is the guy that's still close to us, just hurl loads of abuse. Like, yeah, you better run away, go on. And then just some vicious mockery at him. It's kind of all I can do is just hurl abuse from him.
Okay.
If he can even hear me, because I'm quite high up.
Wisdom save.
You're so loud.
I'm so
Unfortunately,
so
you are a little bit more than 60 foot away, so you don't really have the range for vicious mockery.
all he can see though is me just going.
Can she fly? She has a fly speed, right? You can fly up a little closer.
Fly out to hurl abuse. I'll fly out, hurl abuse, come back.
Averine.
I'll firebolt the fella who I just watched descend past me.
Mm-hmm. As all of the others have begun flying off towards the west, towards the Aldani Basin, this last gargoyle is slowly descending like a weightless creature in 0 gravity down in front of you. You wait for the exact moment, and then you throw the firebolt. It connects with the gargoyle. How do you want to kill it?
You're lucky you can't understand, my friend. It would have hurt way more than this. And then
As the fire connects, it begins to just spread and curl all around his stone form, ripping and almost tearing him apart. The last gargoyle falls, all of them flying away. You have successfully defended Sabal with limited casualties.
can we go around trying to save who we can save? Healing word, healing word, healing word.
Yes. Now, those that had been killed while they were flying, the 2 that had done that at the top, unfortunately, they had fallen by now. The rest that were on land when they were hit, they could be saved. So, only 2 casualties.
Not
So,
too bad.
well done. Well done.
Huzzah.
As the gargoyles sail off, Ashara sees that you're making efforts to help the people. She thanks you all, and all of the Arakocra start working together to gather everyone into the main chambers. So go ahead and pull yourselves in.
Now, I presume I can't recover any arrows that were fired at the flying gargoyles. That's safe to assume.
Not unless you want to go searching for them.
No, that seems hardly worth it.
Right. Hailed as heroes, the people start hooting and chanting. Ashara hobbles over to you all. Thank you. Thank you so much. You deserve every honor that we can give you. You are heroes. And we've lost Lainey and
We're coming back. We're coming back. We're here. We're here.
So,
So, you've just saved the city. Now what are you going to do?
We're not heroes. 2 lives are lost today.
Many more are saved for what you did. She will approach Grigori and just with a pat, thank you.
Oh, he'll kind of flinch at that, but kind of wince and allow it, and then probably remove himself from Ashara's reach.
So,
Is that a normal occurrence, Ashara?
it doesn't happen that often. From time to time, the gargoyles will chase us, particularly if they feel like some of our patrols have gotten too close to their cities. But it was strange, the direction they came from.
stranger still is that they seem to want you specifically.
I don't understand it. Normally, the gargoyles only really attack us when we get too close to Omu. So they come up from the southwest. These ones flew directly from the west. That seems strange. We don't often have patrols that go out to the west that draw them in.
Ashara, I don't know much, or maybe I do. Maybe I know all about gargoyles, who knows. Are they intelligent creatures, or do they work at the behest of someone else?
Yeah. I would assume they have some level of intelligence, otherwise they wouldn't have ran away. But
Good point.
But whatever limit of intelligence they have is quite small.
my understanding is that gargoyles are elemental natured. As such, they're not often here of their own accord. They're usually summoned, created, and then commanded. I would not be surprised if there was someone in control of these.
So they usually they come from Omu, but these ones came from the west.
Yes.
Perhaps,
They seem much more organized than the ones from Omu.
perhaps from the heart of Ubtao.
Could be, but that wouldn't make sense. Why would the heart of Ubtao be attacking us? It is Ubtao's honor and blessing that we live today.
Have you ever been to the heart of Ubtao?
When I was younger, when I was a spry young little chick, I went on a pilgrimage to the heart.
You are still quite spry. My fingers attest to this.
Were you able to land on the moat, the flying earth?
It was difficult at first. It seemed as if I struggled against my will to get there. First couple times that I tried, I remember flying there. And then next thing I know, I'm on the floor below it, stood there. No memory. I tried that 3 times before I finally got there and actually engaged and saw the heart. It is beautiful.
Averine, should we tell her about the other wizard that attacked us the other day from the other faction? Because that's like the Aldani Basin is where we think that they're located, right?
It's surely worth mentioning. Shara, on our way to Nangalore to fetch that flower, we ran into one of these red wizard fellas and a contingent that was south of here. I don't know if they would have anything to do with you. Have you had any dealings with these red wizards?
No, not with these. I've seen them. On my various different hunting trips, I've seen a red wizard or two. They're not uncommon here in Jolt. I wouldn't know anything about their activity to know groupage and allegiancy. But if the heart of Ubtao has been perverted by the presence of dark magic, well, that would explain a lot.
Well, we're headed there, and we'll find out for you.
Good. Well,
They
you're not
did
gonna
look
be able
like
to
they
get
were.
there. Yes.
They did look like their formation. It didn't look like they were in it for a frontal assault. It kind of seemed to me like they might have been attempting to look for something very quickly, so they might be back.
So you're saying prepare for another battle.
Mm-hmm.
These old bones might be able to cook up another storm, but I'd prefer to not have to do so. Perhaps it's better we hide.
I agree. Just until this all gets smooth.
Waves you to follow her. And you can all still fly, except Artus, who just kind of asks someone for help.
I can play the little tune on my Bandora to make him fly.
Okay, so you cast Fly on him.
Yeah.
And she leads you towards this tiny little alcove.
I'm about to ask about
that. Barely big enough for you to be able to fit through. And the way that she approaches it, she spreads out her huge, beautiful, and brilliantly colored wings. And she takes off into the sky. One big spiral, and then dives straight in, contracting the wings just a moment before hitting the rock to help her straight through. You all see all of the other Aarakocra, Pijo included, head inside and do more or less the same sort of thing. Everyone else tentatively, slowly approaches the gap, kind of crests through. This is a tight tunnel for only about 10 foot. After that point, it is an enormous, big chamber inside the mountain. You look, light is being filtered and reflected through crystals all over the ceiling. It looks almost like starlight from where you are. Looking behind
you. Bottleneck for an attack.
We would prefer not to do battle in here. She turns you around and you see that the wall has a big stone that can just be rolled to close it off.
Nice.
We will wait here for when you return. If you return.
But of course we will.
You going somewhere, Pijo?
Well, if we are going off in any extent to deal with some gargoyles, some of these evil beings, then I think it might be a good time to reunite with my old friend and catch up with our old memories.
You've known them all of 20 minutes, and it's we already.
I'm just going to look to Averine and go, wink, old friends, nudge, nudge.
Now, Pijo,
Yes.
more a question to Stephen.
Mhm.
Previously, I explained the Aarakocra lifestyle here is very much a case of childhood. You are raised here, and everyone will see that the children are inside this area. They're being cared for inside this private chamber. Adulthood is adventuring, and then elderly, you come back to take care of the children. Now, I'm not saying, do you have any children, and then now you're going off to adventure, but how old is your character? Is it like, are you on the brink of adulthood, and so you're going out for an adventure a little bit early, or do you adventure regularly?
He adventures pretty regularly. I put him at 5 years old. I know Aarakocra hit adulthood at 3, I saw. So my thought for him is that he goes out on rangings. He tries to, kill any gargoyles he finds, any other evil creatures that could be a threat to Sabal, and comes back occasionally just to see, the people that are there that he knew growing up for those few years that he was there, but is spending more of his time out and about, coming back just for the occasional, someone to do his laundry and stuff.
All right. Ashara will hobble over to you, and now you've been adventuring and going out on raids, but this is different. Something is changing with the world, and I suspect these young individuals are at the center of it all. She will then slap you.
Where precisely?
On the face. On the face.
Okay.
She'll slap you on the face.
On the pig.
On the
If you don't return, I'll come and find you and kill you myself.
I would
Okay.
expect nothing less from you, Ashara.
Good boy.
He kind of pats her on the head.
Mm-hmm. All right. You guys are welcome to stay in Sabal for as long as you wish. You have earned that honor and right, and not just as part of Avarine's friends. Now, each and every one of you is permitted to stay. Ashara approaches Tower and does explain that if you ever want to actually learn to fly, she will gladly take you out and teach you.
I thank you, but I believe our business is pressing at present, but I wish to come back and learn. I see that you are also have some druidic magic, and I am in need of a teacher.
I dabble.
Sure, you have impressive spells that only I have seen my mother and my tutor, previous mentor, teach and show me, but I do not know how to master the lightning like you do. I would wish to learn.
One moment, young man. And she looks up at the towering figure, calling you young man. She raises her wing.
No problems, bra young chick.
Plays with her feathers for a moment and then plucks one and hands it to you. There is a spark of magical energy that bears through it that you feel. Keep hold of this. Mechanically speaking, you have one use of an early wild shape into a flying creature.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. Now you get a flying creature. You get a creature with fly speed at what, level 8?
Yeah.
Okay. You have one wild shape opportunity with her feather into a giant eagle, or no, well, an eagle more or less, not a giant eagle, but an eagle that you can use prior to reaching level 8. Okay. So use it well.
I thank you. This is a mighty gift.
I'd offer it to the rest of you, but you're stuck in those forms.
I know it is so limiting for them.
Yes, exactly. Wild shape into a small elephant and fly. All right. So, with that, what would you guys like to do?
I have a question for you, Ashara.
Yes.
While we've been looking around the jungle, we've seen out in the west, far out into the west, and a little bit closer here into the east, shipwrecks of ships. We've heard, and maybe some of us have even seen airships. Are these shipwrecks airships? And if so, are they whole enough to be recovered? Do you know?
I don't think they're whole enough to be able to be recovered, but you could probably collect enough pieces from each one to be able to craft one yourself. But yes, these 2 shipwrecks that you see in the canopies are airships. They've become a lot more popular in the last couple years. A lot more people have been trying to fly, and a lot more people have been finding themselves unable to stay in the air, and they keep crashing, particularly around here. We don't see too many, and if you fly in Jolt and shouldn't be able to, then it's almost like the jungle reaches out to grab you.
Do you know why these ships were brought down in the first place? As you say, many crashes happened out here.
I have not had people go out there. It's a bit too far for... And she indicates the wreck that's far to the west. That's too far, and the one to the east, she's not really cared too much to go and investigate. She doesn't have much information to give you on that. God. But she can indicate to you that what she does know is that these ships are embedded into the canopy enough that you can access them from the ground. You don't have to be able to fly to get to the ships. Right. Is there anything else?
Piju.
Well, yes. Zola, that's your name, right? I think?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Good.
it.
Great.
You got it.
Thank you.
I think I heard that you're thinking of coming with us?
Yes, if that's okay. I mean,
Of
if you don't let
course.
me, I might just follow behind anyway.
No,
so.
no. Come with us. This is very
Alright.
important, and we can use all the help that we can get. I
Glad
would
to
like
help.
to officially welcome you to the crew, and I would like to offer him a big, huge hug.
Peugeot is going to accept the hug, but you'll notice a little bit of apprehension to it.
That's fine. That's
Yeah, but when he does hug, he's going to hug and he's going to wrap the wings around as well.
this is as nice as she thought it would be.
Mhm.
I want to say watch your pockets, but I don't think you'd have any.
And actually, just to make sure, I know Arakakra is mine. They cap out at like 5 foot, so you're probably taller than he is.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
actually wondering, can I get a feel for how heavy he is by doing this? Is he
Are
like
you the
super
kind
light?
of person that's likely to grab and pick up slightly when you hug?
Yeah, she's a big,
All right.
big full body hugger.
Roll maybe an insight check. All right, 18. Pretty light. Like, I want to say 100 pounds, maybe.
Not even.
Not even
80.
that.
80.
Yeah. Tiny little.
My gear weighs more than I do, but somehow it doesn't affect me because it's still mechanically 15 times my strength score. So, you know.
Well, she's not gonna say anything about it. She don't want to hurt his feelings. But I after coming out of her daze from the comfort of the feathers,
Downy
all
hug.
the feathers,
So many feathers.
yeah. I don't know what you did out there. What was that exactly? The thing with the projectiles.
Oh, it's just a little trick that I learned. If you focus the right way and you say the right words and you look up at the sky just the right way, the arrow explodes. I don't know, but it's pretty neat.
It's cray.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you do stuff like that?
No, I can't. I'm not magical, but I in my defense, there is a demand for my skill set. So
There you go. Maybe
I'm
it's your own kind of magic, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a sneaky type. I'm a sneaky stab type.
Always useful, and he's gonna kind of show his own little swords. Could stab a bit myself, probably not as good though. These are not as sneaky, stabby. Yeah.
What you lack in stealth, you probably make up for in your flight, though. So there's
It's hard to
that.
be stealthy when you're up in an open sky anyway.
True. So what are you just doing this out of the kindness of your heart? You know what's going on? How much do we need to fill you in on exactly?
Well, what I've seen is most of my time I'm in the woods, in the jungles. I fight the gargoyles. I do what I do best. And I've noticed, though, things are a little weird. You'll see he starts to choke up a bit, and he doesn't go too deep into it. But something is bad, and I need to stop the bad, whatever it takes to stop the bad. And it seems like you all, knowing Rini over there, are probably on your way towards fixing the bad. So you seem like a good group to get in with for this.
Yeah, if you come over here to this corner where we are harder to hear and don't want to freak out the rest of the populace, I'll fill you in on what the soulmonger is.
That doesn't sound like a real word, but okay.
Somebody named it.
Yeah, names.
So yeah,
No.
it's this machine that's eating souls, and the people that have died and been resurrected through magic are slowly dying again, and then their souls get gobbled up by this thing, and apparently it's starting to feed something that is potentially going to be like a god of evil.
So this soulmonger is causing people that have been resurrected to not be resurrected anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we think it can be destroyed.
Well, then let's destroy it.
Yeah, we're working on it. And
All right.
there are two factions of Thayans hanging out. There's the ones over Mesro, which we have this weird, shaky alliance with. They don't like the soulmonger either because it's, stealing their food source. Weird bedfellows, but
Why do they eat souls?
Why do they eat souls?
That's a philosophical question. We don't deal with philosophy here.
Bijou doesn't deal with philosophy at all. So.
But there's this other group of Thayans,
Right.
and they're the bad guys. And those are the ones that we're after.
Then
And
let's
they
get
do
to
not
that.
wear red robes. They wear whatever color robes they want. And we've actually run into one of them, and he was pretty powerful, so they might be hunting us now.
All right. Well, what better way to stop something hunting you than with a hunter and yourself?
Yes, correct. I like this guy.
He is no Greco.
I don't know
I
what
don't
that
know.
means, but I choose to.
We lost a friend.
no.
It's okay. We lost a friend. You're adorable. I like him. Look, he's so feathery, and I'm just gonna just fluffle his feathers and.
You
I
could-
do not like feathers.
I know, just ignore him. See, he just gets jealous because he can't turn into flying things just yet. So he's got. You do now with feather, but
Tower's feeling
you have
Tower's-
wing envy.
Tower's feeling a little bit guilty for not being involved, and this feels like he's a bloke who's replacing Greco, and he doesn't like the fact you're replacing Greco.
But we need every help we can get.
Well, I would never try to replace a lost friend. I've lost someone to this. What sounds like it's right. and you can't replace that. But I can fill a need, fill a hole, stop the bad guys.
He's cute. I like you. You're sweet. We have to stop them though. We really, really, really have to stop them. So, and I'll just give the entertainment. But yes.
Perfect.
This is good.
So, Ashara will hobble over to you. You got the flower for a reason. Would you still like me to perform the dance of the seven winds?
Yeah, we probably don't have that much time to just stick around for another night. So I think we should start going.
She calls over a couple of the Aarakocra elders, specifically 7 other Aarakocra. Now, this is the first time even Pijal has witnessed the dance actually be performed. He's witnessed various different rituals. The Aarakocra are very ritualistic people, and they are regularly praying to the Wind Dukes of Akka, the city in the elemental plane of air. They rule pretty much the elemental plane of air. The 7 Aarakocra all stand in a circle, and Ashara invites you all, everyone that is to be a beneficiary, to stand in the center.
Is there any way Pijot can be one of the 7 performing the dance, or would he lose his ability to flight as well?
You wouldn't lose your ability to fly, but you are expected to be an elder.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
So,
cool.
Eventually, if you stay true and be worthy, when you reach elder status, you will be invited to perform this rite. The 7 Aarakocra begin chanting the same prayer in primordial to the Wind Dukes of Akka. Do any of you speak primordial? Averine.
Aye.
So you would understand the prayer to effectively be a thank you to the great Wind Dukes for blessing us with the natural ability to fly. These individuals want to serve and protect the natural order of things and honor the air like they should. But their disposition fails them. We pray and ask that thy blessing be shine upon them, that they will be protected and given the ability to also honor the Wind Dukes with their flight. They talk and chant about the beauty that comes from flying, of natural flying, not magically flying, because there's a difference between moving like Magneto would, straight up, just moving through the air, and actually flying on the winds. They begin to chant about the power of the wind in your feathers and how these people need to receive that blessing. Ashara grinds up the orchid. She then inhales it deeply, begins to enter a bit of a trance as she dances around the group of you. As she dances, periodically you'll notice feathers begin to fall. Eventually, all of her wings are exposed as bare flesh, no feather whatsoever. They begin to wither slowly as she continues the dance. You watch as the skin is pulled tight over the bone. The bone begins to kind of almost crack and shift as it shrinks and turns to ash. There on her back, it falls. All of the feathers on the floor begin to also dissolve and disappear as she continues this dance. But with every step she takes, her footsteps get heavier, slower. Her movement is severely reduced until finally she falls over. When all of her strength has left her, the ground is covered in nothing but slightly shining embers that slowly dissolve away, leaving one single black feather behind. She hobbles over to it, grabs the feather, and then presents it to one of you to take. Who's taking it? Averine? Okay. So Averine has the feather. The moment she passes it over to you, one of the 7 immediately runs over, grabs her cane, and gives it to her. She finally holds herself up. It doesn't get easier when you do it.
That looked a lot more
Can
painful.
Tower
than it
cast
sounded.
Healing Spirit?
You can do, but you'll notice it doesn't help her in any way. This is exhaustion more than pain. It took a lot out of her just natural form, and now she's unable to really stand up too much, out of balance because she can't use the wings to slightly shift her balance to aid her. She leans heavily on the cane and her 7 advisors. When you are ready, and you all need the blessing, only those present in circle at this time will be able to call upon the power of the feather and be granted the ability to fly. You will know what to do when the time is right. Until then, my life is in your hands. An Aarakocra is nothing when they cannot fly. I will be confined to my quarters. Please, get done what you need to do quickly, so that I may be able to fly again. And then I will join you. Wherever you are, I will come and find you. Very well. And she is effectively carried off away from the group to a side of the large chamber where there has been a bunch of rags and cloth bundled up, and they kind of cradle her in there so that she can rest. You now have the feather you need. A few minutes left of the fly spell that's still on you. Otherwise, the Aarakocra offer to carry you all down to the ground whenever you need to. So what would you guys like to do?
I'll say goodbye to Ashara. You honor us with your gift and your sacrifice, and will not take it for granted. I don't know what point.
She's too frail to keep responding at this point.
Okay, so we got enough.
Yeah, Carmen would say thank you and just leave her be.
We must go then. We have wasted a lot of time on this venture.
Okay. So you guys are now headed west. You're going to head towards the heart. Is that right?
That's what it sounds like.
The last time we headed out from Sabal towards Nangalore, we were able to get a little bit of a head start by a diagonal descent.
Mm-hmm. In order to do the diagonal descent, you'll need help, obviously. Your fly doesn't give you enough time left to be able to make the diagonal descent by yourself. So they will drop you off at the other side of the river at the end of that day. So they'll fly you down, drop you down, and then the movement from this point on is up to you how you want to proceed. The distance from where you are to where you can see the heart is, you can see it floating high above the jungle, and it's almost always clear from this position. It's 70-mile journey. That's a 7-day trudge through the jungle, through what you understand, and Shargo points out, is undead infested jungle.
Yay!
Now, with your fly speed blessing, it's 3 days at 30 miles per day. You could make that journey, like you've got the fly speed to be able to do it.
Cool.
Bear with me. So. But obviously you're going to need to sleep, and you can't sleep in the air.
I have to land and set up the hut.
So you'll have to land and set up your nights. How do you do this? Do you make your way through the on the ground at first for a time, get closer before you use the feather's power, or do you just use it straight away?
I'm thinking we walk the first 15 miles, and then that will allow us to use the second day of spell to get us into the heart.
Do the days have to be consecutive, or can they be like one? They have to be consecutive. Okay.
Yeah. From the moment you trigger the power, you have 3 days, 72 hours worth of flying at that speed. So I think what Tower is suggesting is, from your current distance, 70 miles, that's 2 days plus an extra 20.
Right.
No, sorry, plus an extra 10.
Mm-hmm.
If you walk the first 10, the first day by yourself, then you will have only 60 miles till you get to the heart of Uptown. That gives you an entire day of being able to fly when you get there, rather than having used up some hours in that day already just simply traveling to the heart. I think that's what Tower's suggesting. Is that something that everyone would agree with?
Mm-hmm.
And we can get 30 miles of flight per day, is what you were saying?
30 miles of flight per day.
So I'm just making sure we'd be able to get to a not a red area to leave after the day's up.
Yeah, I was thinking to avoid the red area as well.
Because maybe if we walk around for a bit and then take a day there and back, it might be safer, so we can escape if we need to into a safer spot.
All right. Then, making your way through the jungle at first, Shargo will naturally kick into the exploration mode, and he will begin his survival checks. Will anyone else be engaging in such?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll help him. Would you like to roll yourself, or would you like to give him advantage on his +7 roll?
I'll give him advantage on his +7. Okay. And for what it's worth, forests are my favorite terrain, and I think jungles are forests. So, so that it would just so we wouldn't get slowed down by difficult terrain or any of the other things. I'll get twice as much food foraging while we're on the way.
On the first day of trudging through the jungle, the day goes by fairly easily, but Pijo, you're helping Shargo with the tracking and the finding. It's your actions that really keep him in check. There are points every few hours where he seems a little distracted.
Mm-hmm.
He seems not really focusing. His mind is elsewhere, and he doesn't follow the right path for a moment. Maybe he's starting to turn off towards the north. In fact, that's what seems to just naturally happen. Every few hours you see him slowly making his way off towards the north, but you pull him back in.
Yeah.
You keep him true on the path. That night, when you guys set up camp, what are the precautions you guys are taking on this particular night? Like any other night that you've been doing it, what are some of the precautions you take?
Well, I can cast, I think it's cordon of arrows that can put 4 bolts on arrows in the ground. So if anything passes within 30 feet of them, they'll get attacked. And that might not actually notify us, though. So that might be more of a liability than it is of a defense. Never mind.
Well, Pijo, if you can do that, I'll be casting my alarm as I normally do. You wouldn't know this not having traveled with us previously, but I have a magical alarm that I set up around our camp. In fact, I've been in the practice of setting up 2 of these alarms since we have a magical container and some who cannot sleep within the magical container.
Wonderful. And then I can set up my arrows, and you can set up your alarm, and we'll be good for the night.
And I'll set up the hut.
So Shargo sleeps outside the hut, right?
Tower.
And Tower.
Why am I not sleeping in the hut anymore?
So, you've been having some bad dreams lately. Well, we're guessing you've had some bad dreams because you were tossing and turning the other night, and you might have, accidentally turned into a bear in your dream. And then you kind of settled yourself down. So, I didn't want to worry you, but that was pretty scary. You turned into a bear out of, nothing. So, I'm a bit worried if it's nothing against you. I'm just worried if you're inside the hut, you'd break the hut.
I see. I will sleep outside. This is fine.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I did not know.
You kind of, yeah, I'm sorry.
I do not wish for you to get harmed. I will sleep outside. This is fine.
But you can stay with Shargo. Equally, you can stay with Shargo. Can you look at Shargo? Sleep with Shargo. He can be Little Spoon.
So with Tower and Shargo sleeping outside, the ring, which seems to be having an effect on these guys more than anyone else, isn't able to have an effect on them during the night.
There we go.
Okay, so this night in particular, Tower doesn't have any nightmares. Tower sleeps quite soundly.
Typical.
Everyone that is sleeping inside the hut, other than Artus, the current wielder of the ring, needs to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Is this the same day as the gargoyle attack?
Yes. This. I would say yes. Yes, it is.
I will use my 19 portent on it.
Okay.
And then in that case, I don't have a second level spell slot to cast Cordon of Arrows tonight.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Carmen. That ring can do so much for your family.
It's looking pretty good, isn't it?
And you've started to notice that Artus has begun to let his guard down around you.
I know.
But thinking about it, honestly, when was the last time he used the power of the ring? He hasn't really been using it. I mean, he makes little trinkets. He plays around with it, but he doesn't use the power. You could use that so much better than him.
I know, right? It's like he made me this little icy rose, which was cute and it was really sweet, but that could really help.
One level of ring corruption.
To the ring club.
Pijo.
Could I just be close to the ring?
Yeah.
Could I just kind of just try and nestle into Artus for a bit of a cuddle?
Mm-hmm.
Just so I can literally lie there and then just look at it.
Yes.
Okay.
Even subconsciously just start to spin the ring on his finger.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I don't know how he'll react to that, but yeah.
Sleeps through it like a baby.
Nice. Great.
Pijo.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about the ring. You don't know what's going on, like the story behind it. So the ring is struggling to be able to have an effect on you, but you do sense danger from the ring. You don't sense power that you can use. You sense danger that might harm the world. Everything just, you look at it and you feel like at the very core of you, something seems to shift. You begin to hate that ring. And what Ashara mentioned to you, the world is changing and these are at the center of it. Maybe it was more of a foreboding thing than a good job, keep up the good work. Maybe she's warning you about the danger that these guys potentially give off.
Well, he's going to sleep on the other side of Artis to keep an eye on him in case he wakes
also
up.
Cut up to him.
Yes.
Okay.
I have an artist sandwich.
Well, he will subconsciously put both arms around each of you and just like that.
It's a good night. It's a good night.
Yeah. The night will go by fairly. It'll go by fairly silently. Nothing really happens. In fact, nothing happens outside, and those outside don't know anything that's going on inside. When you guys wake up, you'll kind of come to your senses. The new dawn breaks. The sun shines. Whatever feelings you had at night, maybe it was just the way the shadows were shifting. Maybe you were just tired. You don't like that. That's not you. You were just thinking weird thoughts. But you, Pijo, and Carmen are now joining Tower in the one level of corruption. All right. We will actually end the session there as we move on. Sorry to cut it short to all of you that are enjoying the session tonight. I'm not 100% and I need to move on. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. You got some?
Can we do a Who's That Pokemon? I mean, monster.
We can do a Who's That Monster if you'd like. All right.
Yay.
So on your screen in a moment, you will see a Who's That Monster. Type in the chat what you think it is. One of the people that writes it in could potentially win a dice set from us. We've still got one more to give away. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes break. We'll disappear, come back, announce the winner of the Who's That Monster, and then bid you all good night. Okay? Welcome back, guys, after that quick 15-minute break. So, the winner of today's Who's That Monster, the monster was a Medusa.
Yeah.
Yay.
So just like how last week the monster that the party fought was a Medusa, hint, hint, next week's Who's That Monster will probably be a monster that featured today.
But
so
what
think about
monster,
the different monsters. Gargoyles, Aarakocra, who knows, could be either of them.
Gravity.
So, who won the giveaway? That was Super Mega Kamiguru. So well done, Super Mega Kamiguru. Message us privately and we'll coordinate details and we will get you that set of dice. So thank you for supporting us. Thank you for doing this. We would like to remind and invite people to follow us on here, share us with your friends, follow us on Twitter at Crituitous RP, follow us on Tumblr, crituitousrp.tumblr.com, where you can read along with the weekly in-character chat. This next week, the characters will be getting to know Pijo quite well.
Pijo.
So
they're getting to know how to pronounce that.
Pijo.
Pijo.
So pay attention to the Tumblr to be able to read that. Also, join us on our Patreon to be able to get involved, play with us during our off nights, follow along with the chat in real time, watch some videos as they're that I create and put up regularly. We would love to have you guys more involved in what we do every day. So thank you very much to all of you, and have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.